old cop versus militant battle. Though Gill is quick to share credit with Chief Minister Byan Singh's elected government and the army, no guesses are needed as to who is the most fated man in Punjab today. Primarily because Gill's boys cracked the single most important problem and program of law and order in the state. Everything else fell into place. How did he mastermind it all?
You have to evolve different strategies for different areas. And that is what we have been able to do. All the officers who are working with me have learned the habit of thinking about the problem and tackling it, dealing with it. My policy was to convert the whole police force into an anti-terrorist force, which was...
Just one aim in mind to decimate.
Yeah.
Gill boosted police morale and professionalism, using unorthodox incentives and techniques, picking keen young officers who grew up fighting the militants, using commandos and night dominance exercises to turn the tide in the state's favor. The growing criminality of the militant movement, the erosion of their ideological base, and the people's subsequent disillusionment with them made Gill's task easier.
ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੂਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਾਰ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹਾਰ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਹਾਰ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਿੱਤ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਹਰੇਕ ਸ਼ਹਿਰੀ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਤੇ ਅਮਨ ਬਹਾਲ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ
KPS Gill claims a record 95% normalcy in Punjab today. Restored confidence, fall in kidnappings and extortion, and very little talk of a sovereign Sikh state. Perhaps the most enduring image of crushed militancy would be this abject face of surrender. Militants touching Baba Gill's feet.
ਕੀ ਕੁਛ ਕੀਤਾ
15-20 बार तो
15-20 ਵਾਰ ਦਾ आपने सरेंडर क्यों किया फिर
सरेंडर इसलिए किया कि अब कोई फायदा नहीं है आपस में मरते हैं सिख कौम च लुटेरे फरौतियां बहुत लैन डे पे घर बनाउण डे पे आपो अपने ते इस संघर्ष फेल हो चुका हुण
Statistics of the law and order scenario in Punjab today further reflect the swing in the pendulum. Terrorists held by police, 1991, 1,977, 1992 to March 1993, 1,786. Policemen killed by terrorists, 1991, 497, 1992-93, 266. Innocents killed by terrorists, 1991, 2,591, 1992-93, 1,548. Terrorists killed by policemen, 1991, 2,177, 1992-93, 2,226. Terrorists surrendered this year, 792. Perhaps the most decisive coup for Gill and his boys was the recent encounter and killing of dreaded terrorist Gurbachan Singh Mano Chahal. Following a tip-off, the Punjab police raided a farmhouse in Bagriyan village on February 27th and discovered Mano Chahal's hideout in a cattle shed, a small bunker equipped with all amenities including electricity. When the police party removed the planks covering the bunker, a stick bomb was hurled at them and Mano Chahal escaped in the confusion that followed. All that the police got was some arms and ammunition, some letters and diaries. The next day, another tip-off, another farmhouse, this time near Ratol village. Around 3:45 p.m., as the police approached the farmhouse, they were greeted with a volley of fire. They asked for reinforcements and were soon joined by about 225 army and police personnel. They started cordoning off the area while the exchange of fire continued. An army sepoy climbed onto a nearby tube well with a light machine gun, while a few others took positions on the roof. At about 4:20 p.m., Mano Chahal was spotted running out of the house alone and unaided. The sepoy fired the first shot, after which the others opened fire. Mano Chahal was hit by 3 bullets before he fell and died barely 20 meters from the house. Villagers of his native Naushera Panwa celebrated his death.
लोगों ने दीप माला जगाई, लड्डू वंडे, पूरी खुशी की।
As far as policing is concerned, there's nothing much left. We have a few splinter gangs wandering here and there, and I think we shall be able to tackle them.
Are there any regrets?
No, I have no regrets. I think we've all done a good job.
Where does Punjab go from here? What if the militants regroup and the same saga of violence and death starts afresh?
There is no possibility of militancy coming back to Punjab. It's a gut feeling I have that it's just not possible.
Gill's mood today is confident to the point of complacency. Congratulations, he feels, are clearly in order.
Much more than the success we have achieved is the fact that we have found out these techniques which are successful and which are not unduly hurtful to society at large.
Gill's critics, however, do not concede that the end justifies the means. Allegations of police brutality, repression and excesses continue to be targeted at a man seen to have unlimited power in Punjab.
If you have a single-minded aim and purpose, then you have to be ruthless. You want to finish terrorism, you have to be ruthless about it.
People are reeling under state repression, and the uniform brutality has reached the saturation point.
There was no police brutality, there was no police repression, there was no police corruption at all.
Corruption is a
Is your
different matter.
police so perfect,
No,
Mr. Gill?
corruption is a different matter. Police high-handedness is a different matter. Police brutality is something which is a fact of life in this
Police
country.
excesses, fake
Excess-
encounters.
No, I don't think there were any excesses or fake encounters.
So you'd give your police force a clean chit of health?
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
Not everybody is that appreciative.
In any civilized democratic country, such a officer would be tried for illegalities.
ਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਡਰੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਈ ਘਟਨਾਵਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਲੋਕ ਦਬੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਬੜਾ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ
You haven't had any checks or balances on your police?
No, we've always had checks and balances. You can't run a force. You can't run anything without checks and balances.
Who was there to check you, Mr. Gill?
Everyone, including yourself, I think.
The flip answer is unlike Gill's normally cautious style. But then modesty is out of place in the DGP's vocabulary today. You said that God is the only perfect police. Don't you think the Punjab police is perfect?
No, not at all.
Where would you rate it in comparison to this God statement?
We are almost near God.
Today, Gill admits to a love-hate relationship with the terrorist problem he resolved, quoting Robert Frost to describe his feelings.
I remember one of his lines that I'm overtired of the great harvest I myself desired. So I think that that would be appropriate.
Why are you overtired, sir?
Overtired is partly because of the type of attention I'm getting from you and the media and all that.
Gill could in fact easily qualify for the Media Cop of the Decade award. Indeed, he has camera crews of his own capturing him for posterity. And he doesn't just meet terrorists, you know. Sridevi drops in as well. So what did you say to Sridevi when she came to meet you?
Nothing.
You didn't talk to her?
I didn't talk much.
You said on record that she's my favorite actress and I'm
That
a
she is.
fan or some such
That
thing.
she
So
is.
then obviously
I'm very fond
you
of
mean
her.
there was no
No,
rapport,
but,
no vibes, nothing?
There was an actress and there was an individual. There are two different things. 5 minutes or 2 minutes, you can't discover anyone. Huh? Or I'm reminded of this feminine poet. It's from Pakistan, Parveen Shakar, who's written a beautiful line which would not apply to this situation, apply to any situation. She's talking about herself. She says that हुस्न को समझने को एक उम्र चाहिए जाना, दो घड़ी की उल्फत में लड़कियां नहीं खुलती.
Gill's fondness for wine, women and song isn't a state secret, but he still sticks to stout denial. Drinking? Oh, in moderation. Flirting? What's that?
Do I have that reputation?
I'm asking you.
No, I don't have that reputation. Not at all.
Roving eye?
No,
No,
no, not at all.
nothing at all.
Never heard of this sort of a reputation.
No, it,
And where is the time for it? I mean, you need a lot of time, I think, to flirt and to go around. You need a lot of time.
now you have the time.
Now I sit and read, and I find a book far more fascinating than any of the women I've met so far.
Maybe you haven't met the right ones then.
Could be.
However hard Gill fights shy of controversy, and despite all the current media attention, he is quite an introvert. There are plenty of Gill stories doing the rounds. The latest being an incident at his Holi bash in Delhi. This Holi incident, is it true that there was this girl from the British High Commission who actually picked you up and twirled you around?
She picked up everyone. And,
No, she picked up a 6'3" DGP
no,
of
you
Punjab.
see, what had happened was that she has probably had some training in judo or something like that. She She couldn't pick up unless you assisted her in this thing.
So you assisted her
Uh-huh.
and she picked you up?
Yes.
एक हाथ से?
No. She had a lot of difficulty doing it.
The most talked about gill story is of course the celebrated bottom pinching one in 1988 where IAS officer Rupun Deol Bajaj accused Gill of misbehavior at a party. You know, you will be remembered in history about the way you solved the Punjab problem, but you will also be remembered for allegedly pinching a lady's bottom. I'm referring to this Rupun Bajaj Deol incident. So
No,
how do you think that would...
that is not correct. That is not correct. That never happened.
You didn't pinch her bottom?
No, not at all.
What happened?
That, of course, the matter is, she had filed a complaint. We went up to the High Court. The High Court quashed that FIR. And now the matter is lying in the Supreme Court. So I would like to...
No, just briefly tell us.
No, I can't.
And finally, what does a super cop with 36 years experience of law enforcement in tough spots like Assam and Punjab do when it's time to hang up his boots? Or don't super cops ever retire?
They do. They do. At least at some point of time one does retire. And I would love to read.
Has it ever bothered you, the personal danger part of it, that there's a militant bullet which has your name on it?
No, never. No, that has never bothered.
Despite the prophets of gloom and doom, Punjab is headed towards a happy ending after all. The good guys won and the baddies were terminated. And their terminator, Super Cop KPS Gill, also known as Shere Punjab or Shane Punjab, today seems to have worked himself out of a job. Will he now seek militant pastures elsewhere? This is Mini Vaid reporting for News Track.